this his expo here, so you'll know that the Terran player has an expo. He should definitely consider getting an expansion. So again here with the same strategy, the Zerglings are breaking in again. This time JaeBeom here does have a barracks, but I'm not too sure how effective that will be. There's just a ton of Zerglings running through his base here, able to take down the entire army now, working on the barracks. This one SUV here is repairing, but I don't think it will be able to repair it in time. JaeBeom here is opting to secure his wall again with another barracks. I'm not too sure if that will work. He should maybe consider building another factory here or another barracks to block it off, just because they do have more HP. Surprisingly enough, Jawohl here wasn't able to kill this bunker, and instead he kind of mismanaged his troops here, and this one SUV here, a hero SUV, was able to repair the bunker long enough to keep it alive, and then keep it alive for the or keep all his units still alive in the bunker, which is great work. And again, JaeBeom here does lose quite a few SUVs here in the battle, but let's just take a quick look here. We have been on the production tab for a while. Let's just take a quick look here. And as we can see, I guess Jawohl here is actually behind in the harvester count here. He only has 14 drones to JaeBeom's 17. So I'm assuming Jawohl here is kind of using all his larvae to only pump out banelings. So I think he's maybe worked this build to only pump out banelings. He has just enough drones and just on one extractor gas to get all the income he needs. But he should definitely consider expanding, like I mentioned earlier. I think this would be a good time for Jawohl to go for probably his layer, maybe go into like a tech switch into like probably Mutilus, just because at this point he knows he has harassed JaeBeom's economy more than enough, and JaeBeom is fairly far behind. But likewise, I guess he's sticking entirely to his baneling build. We take a quick look at the unit count here. He does have 18 banelings, so Jawohl here committing to a baneling army. And at this point, JaeBeom is reinforcing his buildings with more he has actually 2 bunkers now. He has quite a few marines, and this is fairly smart play here by JaeBeom, because he knows his gates will be attacked by banelings. So by moving a couple marines out in the front gates, you know that these marines will have to die first, or kind of be the fodder or the meat shield for a couple banelings, and then that will inversely mean that there will be less banelings attacking his buildings. But those banelings do hurt a lot. It actually takes down the barracks as well, and this whole army of Zerglings is just going to run to the back and just destroy, and probably just wreak havoc and destroy all these SUVs. These poor SUVs are trying to run away, and the Marine army is helping to fight back here, and I think they will be able to clean this up here. Jawohl here should be managing his Zerglings a bit better, maybe targeting more SUVs instead of just kind of letting the AI just take over. JaeBeom did stop that attack here. His army size is quite small, but in proportion to Jawohl here, his army is still very heavy on the Zerglings. I think he's still attempting to do the Zergling attack with the baneling bust to break through the gates. And again, he's going for the mineral line here. JaeBeom is very this is going to severely affect JaeBeom's income. I think he only has at this point, I think three SUVs, 4 harvesters. I think he probably has another SUV somewhere actually here, and that one's probably going to go back and gather. Actually, he's going to build another barracks. But JaeBeom here does have quite a bit of money, so you will be able to pump out quite a lot more troops. I mean, pardon for that. And he does have his orbital command, so that's definitely one advantage of Terran players. The orbital command, you know, if you don't pay attention to them, they do stack up on quite a lot of energy, and the energy here can be used to transform into these mules, which gather mineral a lot faster. And surprisingly enough, JaeBeom is actually pushing out. I think at this point, Jawohl here has decided to go for an expansion. So he hasn't built any offensive units here. He just kind of macroed up. He should have done this earlier, but he is doing it now. So nonetheless, better late than never. But actually, because of the delay or the time he took to actually decide to do that, JaeBeom here has actually stopped the the expansion here, and then now he's engaging the queen. So this queen is not careful, is going to die, and that queen does go down. And the army here, JaeBeom's actually stimming without medevacs. Some players say that's a bad move. I guess it depends on preference here. The stimmed out units are actually a lot better than non-stimmed units. So the Zerglings here are engaging. At this point, Jawohl here should be able to take down or clean this up. So I think JaeBeom here is the first time in this match he's actually gone in the offensive, so I think he is well aware that Jawohl here actually has nothing, or in regards to static defenses, his army is actually very small, and Jawohl here hasn't teched up to anything. He doesn't have a layer yet, and because of the early push, JaeBeom was also able to stop Jawohl's hatchery expansion as well. So JaeBeom, surprisingly enough, isn't that far behind. And even though if we look at the harvester count here, JaeBeom had a measly 5 harvesters, or probably 4 harvesters, and he has 1 kind of building here. The mules is still keeping JaeBeom in the game, and I think he does have still quite a bit of money, and he's not even gathering from gas yet. So during the battles there, he was able to store the gas, and I think that he's using that to build up his army of marauders and marines. And so we're going to see another push here. We'll see if Jawohl here is able to stop this. Right now he does have Zerglings, but he is actually building quite a few more. Let's take a quick look at the production tab here. He is building another 10 Zerglings as well. And he does have another queen on the way, and he just dropped his spire. So his spire is going down here, and we'll see if he's able to stop this. I think at this point here he is outnumbered. JaeBeom's units should be able to clean up all the Zerglings. And I don't necessarily think that this is the best move to attack with the drones. This is kind of your lifeline, your economy here, and they do very little damage to this big of an army, or this small but big army of marines and marauders. This queen is going to go down as well, and I think at this point here, Jawohl, surprisingly enough, doesn't have much money. During the beginning stages, he spent all his larvae on Zerglings and Banelings, and then now he's kind of stuck. He actually has no more money. JaeBeom here actually takes down the hatchery here, and as we can see based on the money tab, or the money count for Jawohl, he actually doesn't have enough money to rebuild a hatchery. So I'm pretty sure at this point it is a GG, so it's just a matter of time, I guess. And Jawohl here says, glad Terran takes so little skill. Okay, so a bit of a bad manneredness there by Jawohl here. Kind of gets, he's just a bit frustrated that the whole time JaeBeom only reinforced the gates a couple times. I think we saw around 3 or 4 busts there, and ended up winning with just a kind of a fairly small army. I'd say he is reinforcing it of around, I think, 7 or 6 units here. We have 6 units, a couple marauders, more marine heavy, and he was able to actually take down Jawohl there. Well, I hope you like the game. If you do have any comments on how I can improve my future games, definitely please let me know. Either send me a comment, an email, and definitely if you can do your part and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Alright, so thanks again for your time, and I'll have another video up fairly soon. Alright, thanks again. Beta, you're down. Beta, you make me frown.